Noah, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's okay, yeah.
Good. So, you liking this trip so far?
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. What do you like? What do you like about it so far?
Well, there's a lot of different things happening, so it's good to see a mix of, sharing the gospel and a mix of teaching and a mix of mentoring and being mentored as well. So,
How has God impacted you on this trip?
just, through seeing what other people have done and, being a leader yourself, it's good to really see just how everything connects and how you can apply the gospel in your life, and not learning just to speak it when you're supposed to, not just to speak it when it's brought up, but to look for ways to do that in your general lifestyle, which is what this is Paul's really trying to instill in us. So I think it's on its way.
Now, in a short version, what is the gospel?
The gospel is a gift because we couldn't achieve it on our own, and we deserved so much worse things than we have. We deserved to be crucified on the cross like Jesus was, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somehow God looks on us, these wretches, and says, that's beautiful in my eyes because of Jesus. Because if you accept that gift of his cross, the gospel is really just the culmination of that beauty and that gift. So
what do you think about the sermon, the worship, like the living dead theme? What do you think about it?
It's good because it relates to us as teenagers. I know a lot of people that really are into zombies, so when you put a spin on it that we were once zombies spiritually, it can really impact people if they haven't thought about it that way. And even though we've had two different people try to explain that theme to us, it still worked out pretty well with the connection between both of them. They understand that we were once dead and that Jesus is the one that gives us this new life. And it's they really plug into they use examples and their own testimonies to really instill that in us and impart knowledge on us. So it's good.
Well, if you were to see this video in 20 years, what is one thing you want to remember about this trip?
I would say to always remember that you were once dead spiritually, that you were once a spiritual slave, a spiritual zombie, and that no matter what you do, if you're a Christian, no matter what you do, you still have to remember that you were saved by Jesus. And if that's forgotten by you, then a lot of things can go wrong. So that's probably the main thing, just to always remember that this relationship with God is not an obligation by God, it's a gift from God.
So, Jade, how's it going today?
It's going good,
It's going good? Awesome. What have you felt like God's done with you on this trip?
I just really felt like he's opened my eyes to just a lot of perspectives, especially with the elderly people, and they're really not different from us, and they want to be heard, they want to be loved. So.
What side are you at?
I'm Helping Hands.
Helping Hands? Awesome. What do you like about it?
I love how open they are. They're just, even when I walk into the rooms that I'm not working at, they're like, hi. So just to get that kind of welcoming and love is great.
What's one thing you really like about this trip so far?
I really like all the bonds that I'm forming with other people because I really didn't know anybody in my group, and now I know every person, and we all talk and we're all friends. So that's
awesome.
Great.
And we've been here since Sunday, and we've gone through Friday, so it's Thursday night, so we're at the close. So
I'm actually really, really sad.
Yeah,
I didn't think it'd be so sad to leave. But.
Yeah. If you were to see this video 20 years from now, what's one thing you would want to remember about this trip?
I would just want to remember all the lessons that we've learned, especially the messages from all the pastors. They've just really been really relatable, and they've really kind of refreshed my faith, I guess, and just reunited like a fire in my heart. So,
dude, awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, is there any personal story you want to add Like anything personal, maybe something at the site or afternoon site or anything?
We were handing out water bottles, and Paul was with us, and we went to this bus stop where we saw a bunch of people, and we met this guy named Alan, and
I hope you like your
we
popcorn.
met this guy Alan, and he started talking to Paul about how he and his wife are homeless and he needs money for a hotel. And there were a couple people in our group who were saying like, oh, he's probably faking it, whatever, but Paul gave him the money and he seemed really, really grateful. So that was just awesome to have that kind of faith in someone, and just to trust that, even if just trust they're using it for the right reasons, and even if they're not, that's a great example of what Christians should do.
So how do you feel God's impacted you on this trip?
Well, there's this guy that I met that did 22 years for murder, and his name was Jesus, and he shared his story with me today. Growing up, he just was a rebel, and he got busted for his first crime at like 13 or 14, and from there on just kept doing small crimes until eventually he got caught in a quarrel with somebody and shot him 3 times in the heart and 2 times in the gut. And they couldn't find proof against him, but there was a witness saying that he was ready to testify against him. And so the judge said, okay, you're going to be looking at death by injection or life in prison. And so Jesus said, you have no proof. And the judge said, but we do have a witness who's willing to testify against you. I'm going to make you an offer. And the judge made him an offer, and the judge said, you can take this now or you can leave it, but I'm willing to give you 20 years in prison if you just confess it. If you confess that you murdered this guy, you'll do 20 and then get out. But if you don't confess it, this witness will come in, testify against you, and you'll be facing life in prison or death by injection. So he took the 20 years, and he was in prison up from 70-something the year 2000. And he got 2 years added because something happened in the jail. He didn't elaborate. And from there, he found Christ after that and began to live for Christ, but he was still in his old lifestyle. And one of his friends ended up robbing a bank, I don't remember if it was a bank. It was first-degree robbery. And they were going to arrest him. So Jesus said, hey, I'm going to take the fall for this, even though he didn't do it. So he took the fall for his friend and he was facing 15 years in prison, but they shortened it to 7.5 years. And he was in prison from 2003 to 2010. And after that, he's been homeless. He's been diagnosed with lung cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol levels, 3 other diseases I can't even remember. And he's on all kinds of medications, and he has to breathe through a respiration machine. And you have to plug that into the wall and do it for 20 minutes, but he's homeless. So he can't hardly ever find anywhere to plug it in and do it. So he's not doing that as much as he should, and he's just been very sick. And I talked to him today, and what he had to say about that, because I brought up, I said, that must be very, very hard. I can't even imagine. He said, yes, but Christ calls us to endure through trials and tribulations and to seek his name and his glory, and he's the only reason I get up in the morning. Like, I could be dead right now. I should be dead right now, but I'm not because of Christ. And so I will endure through this, and I will overcome it eventually, even if it means I die. And I was just in shock. Like, it blew me away to hear that and to see that.
In 20 years, what is one thing you want to remember about this trip?
I want to remember that I've been blessed to be who I am, and blessed even to be able to get up in the morning, and blessed to be able to breathe. And I take it for granted so much, and I hope that I remember the sacrifice that Christ made on the cross and how that is worth going through suffering, and it's worth going through these trials. And I see all these people around me who are suffering far worse than I am, and they're finding joy in Christ.